Today is a WRAL weather alert day. We're tracking pockets of storms and heavy rain that are increasing the risk of flooding, what you can expect in your town.
This is the first time I've seen it like this since hurricane.
And we're getting a month's worth of rain in less than a day. And we're seeing the impacts of flash flooding all across our area. Then, stretched thin. As Durham County grows, EMS units are working hard to keep up. How the increase in 911 calls could impact you. All right. Hey, now this is what a WRAL Weather Alert Day is made of. Thanks for joining us here at 7 o'clock. I am Dan Haggerty. All that rain that's passed through the Triangle this afternoon, now passing through eastern North Carolina. But this has brought some pretty serious flooding to our area. The WRAL team is on top of it for you. Got Willie Danley. He is live in Lee County. They've seen the worst of it. Brian Schrader in the WRAL Live Center. But let's start with Kat Campbell. Kat, this should all be out of here, which is good news in the next few hours.
And it's great news that Lee County is drying out now. They have seen the worst of today's weather. Also, we saw some pretty heavy rain come down in Aberdeen in southern Moore County, and we're starting to see the rain lighten up there as well. The bottom line here, the rain will continue to move out over the next several hours, but I do want to point out we've got this thin band of heavier rain that's moving through Wake County right now, impacting Apex, heading into Cary, downtown Raleigh, Zebulon, also impacting Rocky Mount. So we're watching this kind of separate band that's moving to the northwest while everything else moves out of here into the east. Still a steady rain, but a light rain around Fayetteville and Cumberland County. A flood advisory remains in effect for Aberdeen in southern Moore County until 8:15 tonight. So we've got just an hour or so left in that. But looking ahead, look at how the rain moves out here. After sunset, we really see the radar quiet down. That's good news, but we've got another system on the way this weekend. It's this front. I'll explain when and why we issued another WRAL Weather Alert Day coming up.
All right, more from Kat in just a moment. But first, let's talk about what this storm today brought to our area. Some pretty bad flooding, as you can see. This is what happened in Sanford. Really bad out there. Up to 5 inches of rain has fallen there. Let's take you live to that area now. WRAL's Willie Danley joining us from some of these hard-hit areas. Give us an idea of what things look like today and how they've progressed into the evening.
Well, Dan, right now I'm standing off of McIver Street in downtown Sanford. And this creek right here, you can see along the banks just how much it's eroded. Everywhere that we're standing on right now, this was all underwater a short time ago. I want to take you to a car over here. This car was completely underwater. You can see some of this debris that's been left behind. And even inside this window that's been rolled down, you can see some of that dirt and water that's been collected in here due to this flooding. And then over here, this is a different vehicle, this Mustang right here. This car was not originally parked like this. This car was pushed here due to all of that floodwater that came into this area. We spoke to numerous people, and now not only are business owners having to clean up after all that water inside the businesses, but there's several car owners that are going to have to deal with their motive of transportation and how they're going to get it out of this situation. We've been here for over an hour now speaking to several people, and we're going to remain out here the rest of the night and keep you up to date on these conditions.
Boy, a tough situation. You mentioned some of the businesses, wondering what they dealt with, how they're handling this today. We know that some of them had to close their doors.
Yeah, Dan, several of them actually had to close their doors to clean up that floodwater that broke through their doors today. And the ones that are remaining open, they're not seeing a lot of foot traffic because a lot of people in this area are staying home.
All right, so thank you to Willie. We appreciate the update there from Lee County. Let's send things over to Brian Schrader now in the WRAL Live Center. We've got a lot of pictures and video, a lot of viewers sending things in of the damage and some of the flooding this storm caused.
Especially there at the height of all of this afternoon. This is new video of Spring Lane in Sanford, one of the major roads that was closed. That's Big Buffalo Creek that came out of its banks, and you can see a pretty spectacular sight there. And in downtown Sanford, this is Little Buffalo Creek that came out of its banks. This is from the Cypress Point Fire and Rescue Team. They worked out of Moore County to help out people in Sanford today with some of those swift water rescues. Thankfully, they say they were able to get everybody out of their vehicles and also buildings.
All right, that's good news. Thanks to Brian. We'll stay on that story for you throughout the rest of the evening. In the meantime, let's roll through some of the other big headlines today. These are the 5 things you should know right now. A new report out today. It finds that so far NCDOT has spent $574 million repairing and replacing roads damaged by Helene. It also found that the feds have reimbursed about $130 million of that total. Now, Governor Josh Stein says that is a problem because every dollar the feds don't spend or send here to our state on disaster recovery is just a dollar that the state might have to come up with instead. And right now, the state is considering sending over $400 million additional dollars in Helene relief as that part of our state still struggles. It's part of the new state budget. We'll see what comes of it. A woman convicted of helping an Orange County inmate escape will spend at least 4 months in prison. Investigators say Jacobia Crisp helped convicted murderer Ramon Alston escape back in August. He was recaptured days later, but law enforcement say that Crisp and Alston developed a relationship while he was serving that life sentence for murder. Alston's sister, Monique Brady, is also charged in this case. She has yet to be sentenced. All lanes of US 70 are back open now in Johnston County after this. Two tractor trailers crashed there, blocked the whole highway for hours. Maybe you were stuck in it. Our crews on the scene saw beer leaking from the back of one of those delivery trucks, the Coors truck you see there. Both drivers we know had some minor injuries. Troopers are investigating exactly how this all happened today. Plans to redevelop Durham's old police station seem to be falling apart yet again. This is a saga here. The downtown headquarters has been vacant since 2018 when police moved into their new facility. But since then, there have been multiple plans for that property that have failed to get off the ground. A city memo cites tariffs and economic uncertainty as some of the reasons why the developer just can't deliver what the city council wants to see happen there with that building. Millions of dumbbells are being recalled because the plates could just fall off while you're working out. Maybe you remember these Bowflex adjustable dumbbells. They were super popular during the pandemic. All the gyms closed. People still wanted to get in shape at home. Now nearly 4 million of them are being recalled. There have been hundreds of reports of these plates falling off, causing concussions, broken toes, and contusions. Man, if you have these, you should get a replacement set or you could get a partial refund. Durham County EMS leaders telling us here at WRAL that they are holding about 5% of what they describe as low priority calls every single day. That basically means for some people, you call 911 for an emergency and the county simply doesn't have anyone to send to you. As WRAL's Monica Casey reports, as the county has grown, EMS positions have not kept up.
Durham County continues to grow. This year, we're on track to have a record-breaking 60,000 911 calls for service. That growth means without new positions, EMS is being stretched thin.
I'll call another county. We have no medics.
Broadcastify radio traffic shows Durham first responders stuck on standby for some 911 calls.
No medic units available. Send 51 just as a supervisor until we can get another county to respond.
Director of Durham's Office of Emergency Services, Mark Lockhart, tells me right now they are holding 5 to 7% of calls every day, which means they pause their response to keep units in reserve for more serious issues.
We did have one day last week. We actually held 35 calls on the day shift.
He says balancing an increase in call volume with resources is an issue in Durham and elsewhere. Durham gives and receives mutual aid with other counties daily.
We have not added any staffed transport units to Durham County EMS since 2018. Our call volume in that same time frame has increased over 24%.
With how much Durham has grown, do you feel as though you're able to make it to all of the emergency calls that you need to in a good amount of time?
I think we're doing the best we can with what we have. We just don't have everything that we need.
EMS has 13 vacancies, and Lockhart estimates they need to add another 5 units, which is another 20 people.
For our folks, they're doing the best they can, but they're getting their tails kicked on a regular basis. And we're doing the best we can to try and improve that situation, but it is a function of people and money.
In Durham, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
Thank you to Monica for that report. A couple of things that we do want to point out for this story, though. First, you heard Monica mention how much Durham has grown. Well, between 2010 and 2020, the population grew 18.5% to 330,000 people. A report from 2021 estimates that the area will grow to nearly 500,000 people by 2045. When you have more people, you have more emergencies, more 911 calls, more moments where EMS is needed. Monica also mentioned the vacancies at Durham County EMS. There are 13 positions open right now, and there are about to be a few more. Pretty soon, Durham County commissioners will vote on a new budget worth $1 billion, and it includes money for 12 additional positions, EMTs and paramedics. That means they would have 25 positions to fill, and if they do, that could put a real dent in the response problems. A vote on that budget likely won't come for a couple more weeks, but we will keep you posted on what the commissioners decide. Dogs are taking over the news tonight, but let's be honest, dogs have been taking over the news for quite a while now. Dogs saving people, people saving dogs, dogs that need saving. After the break, we've got 3 canine stories for you in our newest 7 o'clock segment. Look, covering politics is a central part of doing the news. The people who run our country, our state, our community, it's a big deal. A lot of people will say when it comes to politics, the news is biased. I get emails about this all the time. Doug said, your news bias has become increasingly left of center. Eric said, the news seems so biased, trying to defend and protect Trump. Jessica said, you are just a Republican shrill. And Sydney said, you're a liberal hack. Looks like I'm a little bit of everything. And I get the sensitivity to it, and it is true. Some news outlets are overtly biased when it comes to covering politics. But there's another topic that you should know about. According to the research, all news outlets are biased when it comes to dogs. A study published by Cambridge University found news outlets were almost as likely to pick up a back page story about dogs as a front page story of the New York Times. The research concluded, quote, dogs are an important factor in news decisions. You know this is true. We cannot deny it. Look at this. 3 of the top stories in North Carolina right now. 101 dogs saved from suspected puppy mill in Raleigh. Local hero dog scares off intruders in Holly Springs. And Whiteville dog saved from overdose using Narcan. The news is going to the dogs. In fact, it's gone to the dogs. So tonight, let's start a new segment and talk about some dog news. Woof. Let's start with dog news story number 1. Deputies in Columbus County near the North Carolina coast saved a dog's life using Narcan. This is Gurley. Deputies came to her house, found a man inside overdosing. They gave Narcan to the man and put him in an ambulance, saving his life. But then the deputies noticed something off with the dog. Gurley, she was struggling too. Apparently, she got a hold of whatever drugs were in the house. Deputies then used Narcan on her as well and saved the dog's life.
So it's good they looked at the surroundings and stuff, and they had the compassion for the victim, and they had the compassion for the dog. This is kind of what we do. We help everybody and help it out in everyday situations.
Well done. On to dog story number 2. A dog in Holly Springs chased off 2 people, preventing a potential break-in. This is Hazel. She chased off 2 people who came to the house in masks earlier this week, potentially planning to break in. Hero Hazel chased them away. Now neighbors are leaving gifts, like tennis balls, to show her their appreciation.
She's doing her job. You know, she has an instinct to protect, as most dogs do. So she did her job that day, and she got a gold medal for sure.
Holly Springs police are still investigating that case. Now, dog story number 3. The SPCA of Wake County is caring for 101 dogs they say came from a possible puppy mill. 101 dogs, and can you believe it? Not a single one is a Dalmatian. The dogs are mostly small breeds like toy poodle mixes, Pomeranians, and Yorkies. Raleigh Animal Control recovered them from a home in East Raleigh yesterday. They initially went there because of a call about chickens, but when they got there, they found the dogs too. From the outside of the house, you would have never known about the terrible conditions these dogs were living in.
Just hard to know that you could be driving past a house like this any day and not know what's going on inside, but luckily somebody said something and we were able to get them all out of there.
The dogs were brought to shelters across our area. If you're interested in adopting one, they're awfully cute. It will be a couple of weeks before they're ready. The Wake County SPCA social media pages will be posting some updates, so you can check there and see when one might be available. But to sum things up, we have a person who saved a dog who saved a home, and more than 100 dogs who need you. If the metrics on WRAL.com are any indication, I'll bet the line at the adoption center for those dogs is going to be well out the door. And who knows, maybe one of those little guys will end up back on the news one day. Kat?
Yeah, Dan. I mean, I don't know if you should get that intro when you don't even have a dog at home yet. I hope to see you in that line.
I'm tempted by those cuties that were saved today.
Well, I can't wait. Next time I see your children, I'll be sure to pull up some pictures on my phone. We got to get Dan a dog. Get Dan a dog mission. All right, let's take a look outside. Fenton and Cary is seeing a downpour at the moment. It is a skinny little line of showers that are moving actually south to north across Wake County right now. This is the rain that we're tracking. It's headed for the airport. I wouldn't expect this to cause any delays or anything at the airport. But inside the Beltline in Raleigh, we've got pretty heavy rain coming down at the moment. It's not going to last for too long. This line is moving slowly, but it's a pretty skinny line that's moving to the north, and Wendell's seeing some light rain. Something to point out, I know I called it a line. A lot of times when we talk about a line of rain, we're thinking a line of storms. This isn't that. It just happens to be kind of a horizontal line across the map. We do still have some rain coming down in the southern and eastern part of our area, but at this point, the heavier rain is that thin little band that's moving through Wake County, and it should subside over the next hour. The heaviest rain today has definitely been in Lee County. You saw the images and all of the flash flooding from their earlier rainfall estimates between 3 and 5 inches. Pretty widespread across the county, too. Sometimes you see totals that high, but it's just in one town in a county. I mean, the whole county saw a lot of rain for Lee County, and that flash flood warning has been allowed to expire. The rain has subsided in Lee County for the most part. Low pressure is moving on out of here tonight. It's taking the rain with it, and by the time you wake up, there will likely be cloud cover around. That will slowly back off throughout the day, and it ends up being mainly dry during the day. I think the best chance of storms would actually be from about 8 p.m. through 2 a.m. tomorrow night into very early Saturday morning. But that means you get most of your Friday with dry weather. Then Saturday, a cold front approaches, and with this cold front nearby and very hot and humid air, we're going to have everything that we need for some scattered storms to develop. These storms are likely to be strong, the ones that do develop. However, I still want to point out that these are scattered storms. I do not think that every single city is going to see rain on Saturday. Bottom line, though, the earlier you plan your plans in the day, the drier you're likely to be. It's about a 50% chance of storms Saturday. That means about half of the radar is going to be covered with storms. Sunday, that chance is a little higher. They should be more widespread with a front nearby, a 70% chance Sunday. Monday, rain and storm chances drop to 30%. They go back up Tuesday. I should stress, even though it looks like it's going to storm every day from Saturday through Thursday, it's more of those kind of afternoon storm threats that you see during the summer months. The WRAL weather app is going to be a great tool. You can actually get notifications whenever rain is headed your direction. So if you do any kind of outdoor sports with kids or head to the pool, it's going to be a good tool this summer, Dan. Or take your dog on a walk.
Yeah, don't forget about that. All right, thank you, Kat. Raleigh's Round Holiday Inn will stay in the city's skyline. If you've lived here for a while, you know it's a staple of downtown. If you're new to town, let's catch you up on a little bit of history. One last thing right after the break. But first, let's give you a look at your weekend plans. There's a lot going on, as always, out and about. Hey, one last thing we want to mention tonight. You might have seen the headline that one of the most unique buildings in downtown Raleigh isn't going anywhere. I'm, of course, talking about the Round Holiday Inn on Hillsborough Street. There was some concern it might be torn down. IHG Hotels and Resorts says that they will convert the building now into a Hotel Indigo and preserve the building's round shape. Great news for all the fans of unique architecture. If you're new to the area, you should know the story of this hotel goes way, way back. The hotel first opened in 1970. This is it being built just a couple of years before that. 208 rooms, rooftop dining, the tallest structure in Raleigh at the time, and the first circular Holiday Inn built in the eastern U.S. But you know what that means. First on the East Coast, but one of many nationwide. This is the Hotel Angelino in Los Angeles, built in 1970. This is the Doubletree Hotel building in Jefferson City, Missouri. It first opened as a Holiday Inn in 1970. Are you seeing a pattern here? How about this? The Hotel VQ in Denver first opened as a Holiday Inn in 1967, a little earlier, but you know, you get the point. So why was Holiday Inn building all these rounded hotels? Well, the company's founder, Kemmons Wilson, wanted his hotels to have this futuristic urban style. So he built 25 nationwide, and one of them was in Raleigh. A developer bought that building in 2021 with a plan to tear it down. They released some renderings of a new high-rise they wanted to build, but it never happened. And today, the new plan is to keep that iconic building, preserving history right here in that capital city skyline. Great to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much for making WRAL your choice for local news. We got our next newscast at 10 o'clock on Fox 50 and 11 o'clock right back here on WRAL. Have a great night.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air channel 34 and Spectrum channel 1257.